11 minutes after 8 o'clock. And today, of course, being Wednesday, the 14th of December, it just so happens to be Toy Distribution Day for the WPSL Christmas Kids. The entire morning show this morning has been live from the St. Lucie County Logistics Center. Here's our morning crew, Greg Wyatt, Paul Stone, and Mr. G.
It's the awesome threesome. Make no mistake about it, man. Day 22, Cliff. 21 stops at the St. Lucie County businesses. Today, it all ends here at the Logistics Center in beautiful Fort Pierce, where the doors opened at 8 o'clock. And we are giving the toys out even as we speak.
And we have to thank the Port St. Lucie Downtown Lions Club yesterday. After we finished at the Crossing Church, we went down there, and to our surprise, they gave us one check for $400 for the Christmas Kids toy giveaway.
That'll buy a lot of gifts, won't it, Greg?
And you betcha. And another $400 check for the infant swimming program, which gives us a kickstart going into the spring. And
now, prior to going on the air, you mentioned Arrigo.
Yes, Jim and John Arrigo. We have to thank them because they joined us. They didn't do a show, not yet, but they might next year. And also, we have to thank the employees of Wells Fargo Bank. All the branches in St. Lucie County donated toys. And Carol picked up a bunch. I picked up the other half down in Port St. Lucie. And we have to thank Wells Fargo Bank as well as all the other folks that we dealt with during the shows.
Oh, yeah, and we mentioned earlier, Paul, that we started this thing out on November 14th at Lawnwood Stadium featuring the St. A's Band. And understand, every show we try to feature a St. Lucie County school choir, band, what have you, drama department.
Sure.
And we had Village Green Elementary stop by Seacoast Bank on the 15th, our second day of the Christmas Kids Show. At Garber Buick, Lincoln Park Academy Chorus, Morningside Academy Girls Chorus at Michael Terrio. Then at AXA Investments, Morningside Church performed for us. Westwood Chorus at St. Lucie Mets. Oh, my goodness. And they blew everybody's mind, Paul, because we didn't even know this was going to happen. They started singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" in harmony.
Really?
Oh, man, was that awesome or not?
Have you ever heard the verse to "Take Me Out to the Ball Game"?
Well, I've heard the first verse.
There's a lot more to
I
it.
bet there are, yeah.
No, but I mean what do you call it?
Buy me some peanuts.
No. What is it? Not a prelude. What is?
No, well, there was
what's
a second.
it called in music?
There was a second verse. The first verse is "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
Yeah.
Then there's a second verse that has nothing that nobody's ever heard.
Yeah,
They
it was amazing. It was amazing.
And not, if I'm not mistaken, I think they made a deal that they're going to sing it during the seventh inning stretch this year.
Really?
At spring training.
Yes, yeah, they're going to do that. Yeah.
So that's going to be cool.
Trayer instantly after the show said, "You're coming to spring training,
right.
guys." Yeah.
We did, of course, Harbor Community Bank's St. Lucie West FK Suite Elementary, the sweet sounds of FK Suite, and of course East Coast Lumber. We love hairpiece. I mean, husband and wife team.
Our only, actually brother and sister.
Oh, they're brother and sister?
Yeah.
Oh, get out of here.
It's hard to imagine.
Wait a minute
they're
now.
in each other's head.
And if not mistaken, they've been performing since they were teenagers at the Christmas Kids Show?
Actually, yes. They have been performing even when we were in one location. Since 1994. Yeah.
And who can forget the Harbor Place All-Stars? Now, this happened, Paul, because one year we were doing at Harbor Place, and the band, I call them the band, the entertainment didn't show up.
Okay.
There was some kind of miscommunication. So the Harbor Place, the residents, they decided just to get together, and I guess it was about 4 or 5 of them, elderly women and men, and they just started singing. So now we don't book a band on that. It's the Harbor Place All-Stars.
In place.
And they have song sheets?
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It's great. It's absolutely great. Oh, yeah. It's fun.
Greg, tell us now, I know that today's a special day. How many presents did we buy? Did all the merchants in town and all the folks giving folks, how many presents did you buy?
A lot of it's donated, but, oh, my goodness. We had several trips of 26 or more carts at Walmart.
Picture that now, Paul.
And you don't want to be behind us.
Yeah, exactly. No speed line for that one.
I went one year, Paul. I went one year. One of my kids went with us. And just to see that many people with shopping carts just taking everything off the shelves, and then the customers looking at us wondering, what the heck's going on? You guys are taking all the toys. What was this, on sale or something?
I guess.
But these are world-class shoppers, though, Paul. They know what they're doing.
So, Greg, about 3,000, is that what you thought, pretty much?
Well, yeah. And of course, there's other stuff here, too, like some of the stuffed animals and things like that, which we can't keep, that they will be going out the door as well. So each child will get, anywhere between 4 and maybe even 6 toys. I mean, it all depends.
The professional sporting teams also kicked in?
Yep. We had a successful shakedown this year. We got some blue basketballs from the Magic. And, of course, Carol's passing out the Miami Dolphins stuff now.
Which is real cool.
It is. It's a backpack.
Hey, G got one, too.
Yeah.
My team. See, they didn't do Minnesota Vikings.
I noticed that. Not this year, anyway.
Well, yeah, there's a bunch of folks to thank. But first, we're going to send this over to Paul for these stories, and then more from the Logistics Center, the Kids Court, the Christmas Kids giveaway.
That too. Well, thank you, G. Well, good morning, folks. It is 8:17 now, and the gift giving is well underway. You'll hear a couple of shouts in the background as our sheriff's department yelling out what number they want next, and some of the helpers here bring up the toys for the kids to pick up. And now the news.
All we've got is a couple of little fog advisories, and all the trouble in the traffic doesn't really take place till you get down to the Palm Beaches. We've got one accident without a roadblock on 995 northbound in the Palm Beaches, and more wrecks down in Broward County. But here, we're clear except for the fog. Now, back to the morning show at the St. Lucie County Logistics Center.
Okay, we're back here live at the Logistics Center, handing out over 3,000 gifts this morning to children who otherwise may not have been quite so happily taken care of this year. What you got, G?
Well, he cut me to the quick here. I thought he said he was coming back after the news.
But he's tricking. He has his
games.
You
tricking us here, dude? You're cutting us to the look at behind us. No, we're not talking to you, Cliff. We left off with the Harbor Place All-Stars. I got gone to Acalina in my mind. The Acalina Bank, Port St. Lucie High School Drama Department. Something special about those students.
Oh yeah.
I mean, when they sing a Christmas carol, it's just not singing a Christmas carol. They get all into it, Paul, because they're actors.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they just get into this. I mean, they just do some fabulous work, Mr.
Patrick Mann.
I mean, these guys go to Broadway every year. They see a Broadway play. They go do the background things at Broadway in New York. They take New York by storm every year for a week, man. Really cool.
Yeah, 12 plays in all is what they'll see. And if they happen to be like technical types, they're like a stage director or
behind the scenes
or lighting, something like that. What Patrick will arrange is that they go behind the scenes of the Broadway plays.
That's neat.
While the actors and singers are out front. So
I love Broadway. Cool. It's fantastic. I've seen so many, the Cats. We saw, the Phantom of the Opera more than once, by the way. Fantastic.
He even managed, Mr. Patrick, I keep forgetting his last name.
Madden.
Mr. Madden. He managed to get them tickets to Hannibal before it was very popular, because those tickets are like $1,000 a piece now.
Yeah,
so he managed to make that thing happen, too. So, yeah, a big ups to the whole Port St. Lucie High School Drama Department. St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
Yes.
That place is just fabulous. That is one huge operation over there.
Yeah, and Joey Miller, Joey Miller can be traced back to the Christmas Kids to the late '60s, and the lady who was the president of the Christmas Kids before Carol, Pauline Clutter, her husband Bill was the bookkeeper at St. Lucie Battery and Tire for many years, and Joey, going all the way back to early '60s, bought their egg farm in western St. Lucie County before he got into the battery and tire business. So,
they've got some vintage stuff in that store, too. I mean, I didn't see it this year, Greg. It's probably there somewhere. The old Sunoco gas pump thing.
It's there.
Oh, it's still there?
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, they've got some really cool things. And, of course, at that show, we had Morningside Academy's orchestra there, and with the violins and all that. And then, of course, the 2nd Street Shakedown.
That's it. Steve Hoskins, we've got to thank he and Beth Hoskins for everything they've done for the Christmas kids. That was the 20th year, and the 20th year for a lot of these shows. That these folks started sponsoring the Christmas kids 20 years ago, and they keep re-upping.
Can you imagine that, Paul? 20 years. A lot of these sponsors have been doing this with us for 20 years.
That's a long time.
That is a long time.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
And of course, now, what is the deal that Sunrise Ford does every year?
Okay, they do 20. Funny you mentioned that. $25 a car, new or used. So it's very cool, and it's and they gave us, as Mike Wetzel jokingly said, a down payment on that, and we'll get another check, in a matter of a week or so. But we also have to thank Faith Congregational Church for the pancake breakfast.
Okay.
Yep. And the proceeds, of course, they had a truckload of toys that they donated, but also a $1,000 check from the pancake breakfast. So
wow.
We have to thank them for that.
And mentioning when we were mentioning Sunrise Ford, we again had Westwood Chorus stop by just amaze us. And then WLX TV.
Yes.
We did a broadcast right from the studios.
Yeah,
right?
Carol did that show. I was off with IRC, and but yeah, that was again that was LPA and Westwood both that were involved in that television show.
It was very cool when Dime and Liddy called us via telephone from wherever the heck she was.
She was in Boston.
Okay, when we did the public defender's office. Yep. I think that's the first time we have not done that show, and she wasn't in the room physically with us.
She felt terrible. It's funny. Carol and I were shopping late at Publix one night, ran into Diamond, and she was almost in tears that she was going to miss the show. But yeah, she was up in Boston on business.
And of course, the Lincoln Park Academy Chorus had those honors. St. Lucie Sheriff's Office, FK Suite. I missed that one this year.
Talk to me. FK Suite is just absolutely amazing. Kirsten does a tremendous job with that group, and
Mrs. Nipper,
yeah, Mrs. Nipper, and they do just a tremendous job with those kids.
And I guess Florida Community Bank, Westwood Chorus, we took over that whole lobby.
Yes.
We took over that lobby, man, and those harmonies rang through that lobby, and it was just awesome. I mean, they always do a great job. Center Street Bank, Forest Grove Chorus. I missed that one.
Well, and that was kind of a reuniting of Kathy Osking, who is the music instructor, and the principal of the school, and I really want to see that tradition grow next year, where we have either a principal or a guidance counselor from each school appear with their musical group. And it was Terry Davis, who's the principal there. But Terry brought back, apparently, music programs at Forest Grove had died off for a decade. And he brought it back, and Kathy Osking's name was there, and she's an amazing woman. We originally ran into Kathy 20 years ago when she was the principal at Dale Casson's.
Wow, good stuff there, man. And we'll continue with our thank yous. And just after the break, we'll pause for your Florida News Network. We're broadcasting live the morning show from the Logistics Center. It's the toy giveaway morning, and we'll be right back.
The WPSL Christmas Kids. It's 8:30. And now back to the morning show live from the St. Lucie County Logistics Center, where the WPSL Christmas Kids are, they're distributing the toys.
Thanks, Cliff. So, G, let's see. We can do the sports now. We can talk about gifts. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
It's just very exciting here right now.
It is great.
Everybody's picking up the toys. This thing is a well-oiled machine. The way they do this.
How many years been doing this now?
Oh, Greg, I mean, it's over 20, right? I mean, you guys have been.
Yeah, we inherited this in 1994, but it has gotten progressively larger. We have more trustees helping out. We've got a total of, I think, a dozen this year that are helping our volunteers. And, of course, the folks from community services at the table double checking everything. So, it's a system now. And of course, Don Macklem, who's on our board, his wife, who was at Lincoln Park Academy, assistant principal, she just retired. So they have really organized the packing, the shipping days, and stuff like that. So the backside is really organized. It's amazing. We're like herding cats. So it's
Greg, tell me, how are the kids selected to get these gifts?
The St. Lucie County Community Services screens the children beginning our first day of broadcast.
Okay.
And then they'll take applications then. And, you've got the regular income qualifications.
Mm-hmm.
The parents have to bring like power bills, stuff like that. And then just, it could be family of 4, 6, as many as 10, 12 people. I mean,
that's great. These children who may be without gifts on Christmas morning now will have at least 3 or 4 gifts. Fantastic.
And what we have learned, unfortunately, it has gotten worse, is a lot of them are homeless too.
Yeah, that's
and it's
tragic.
Yeah, it really is. They're really needy. They're really needy.
Yeah, and what we've learned that going and doing the stops that we do. I mean, there's like all of the different 21 stops for the Christmas Kids Tour. Each stop gives us a check, or they provide us with a whole bunch of toys. In fact, we're pretty much stocked already, starting the year out for next year, ready for some toys already. So, it's hard because when you talk with Carol about this, there's always a certain age group that is kind of hard to shop for, that we're lacking in certain gifts.
Yes, and we it was amazing this year. I think it was, what did she say, girls? I think it was 7 to 10.
And girls and boys, I think. Something about the 7 to 10 age range there is a difficult one. They don't have all the necessarily. So they go on a shopping spree just for that group of kids.
Oh, yeah. They really they narrow and zoom in on that, usually by the second or third trip.
And as Carol refers to them, they are world-class shoppers. They've done this before.
And we have to thank Steve, the manager of Walgreens as well, because he always alerts Carol when they have specials on batteries.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize, but some of the toys that we got at Walgreens this year need 5 batteries and different types.
Mm-hmm.
9
Single
volts.
A, double A.
Yeah. Oh yeah. C batteries and then the double A's.
And Greg, I got to tell you, I use a lot of batteries too in my industry. They always have batteries on sale. You can buy like the 16 packs. Buy one 16 pack, get the second one free. Yeah. Every now and then you got to look out for it, but it's there, and it's usually their brand battery.
Yeah, and he's very good at letting us know about that, and maybe where we can, buy one and get 2 free or something like that.
Exactly.
It's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
I think we left off at the Center State Bank, the Forest Grove Chorus, but then Lexus of the Treasure Coast, Village Green Elementary, and you've got an idea for next year for that, right? You wanted to put an orchestra at the bottom of those.
Yeah, we were thinking about LPA with orchestra or maybe string quartet or something like that at the bottom. And then on the stairwells at Lexus, both sides having the chorus, which I think would just be unbelievable.
Now, Greg, we did something different this year. Normally we start at Lawnwood and end with St. Lucie Medical Center. But we did St. Lucie Medical Center with Village Green Elementary on Monday and ended with the Crossings Church with the John Carroll Band yesterday.
Well, actually, John Carroll had tests, so that's how we got Jennifer there. Because all of a sudden, John Carroll called and said, we can't get our kids off campus because they've got ACT and SAT tests. So, okay, that's fine. And that's when we talked to Gary Wilson. And he said, let me make sure that we can get Jennifer off. Okay. So, I want to thank the sheriff's office for pulling some strings on that.
Very nice. We certainly appreciate that. It is 8:41 now. It's the Christmas Kids giveaway. We're live at the Logistics Center in beautiful Fort Pierce. And from Studio Logistics Center. Let's talk sports with Paul Stone.
Okay, G, well, thank you. Today is the day that, after initially being mentioned as a potential candidate for the Houston University job, Alabama assistant coach Lane Kiffin has reportedly agreed to be the next coach of Florida Atlantic University.
Tony Romo, who?
Yeah, I heard he might get in if they're really, really ahead. Yeah, it's such a... So next year, Greg, with all your background in sports, where do you think Tony will be next year? Think he'll be back in Dallas, or will he be moving on?
I would imagine moving on.
But you know, he's making $100 million thereabouts. He's been hurt almost every time he steps in the field.
When you say next year, though, wouldn't you start over with the fresh season? Okay, Dax did well this season, but my main quarterback is back, and I will start him as the head guy at the beginning of next season. You wouldn't do that?
Who?
Tony?
Oh, no.
The old rule of thumb used to be if you were injured, you would get another shot. But I think the fact that Tony has had so many concussions.
And bad back injuries as well.
And back injuries, and that's next to impossible to come back from.
And G, your Dolphins will be playing across the pond again in 2017. The NFL announced the 4 regular season games that will be played in London. The Dolphins will host the New Orleans Saints in either week 3 or 4 at Wembley Stadium. Other matchups include the Baltimore Ravens, Jacksonville Jaguars in week 3 or 4, the Minnesota Vikings and the Cleveland Brownies at Twickenham Stadium. Week 7 or 8, and Arizona Cardinals will face off against the LA Rams with a new coach. Who knows who that might be? Week 7, also at Twickenham. It'll be the 5th trip to the UK for the Dolphins. They played San Francisco 49ers in an exhibition game in 1987. New York Giants in 2007, Oakland Raiders in 2014, and then just this past year, the New York Jets in 2015. Miami, by the way, is 2-2 in those games. And let's see, staying with the Dolphins just a minute or so, G, the Miami Dolphins have announced that Mike Pouncey, being placed on season-ending injured reserve because of a hip injury, limited him to just 5 games this year. The Dolphins are 8-5, who will also be without starting quarterback Ryan Tannehill because of a knee injury when he plays Sunday at the New York Jets. So play on. That's your sports, G.
Yeah, now Greg mentioned earlier, and I noticed it this weekend as well. Tampa was supposed to play in the 1 o'clock game, and they moved them to 4. Now, what's going on with that?
Well, and actually, we got the email last night from Mr. Ryan over at Tampa Bay Bucks. The NFL moved Tampa Bay on Christmas Eve as well. So they moved him back to 4:25 this week as well, plus 4:25 the following week. Well, that gives them the potential of having Fox make that their game of the week. So that's
what brought on the move?
Television. That's it.
And the fact that they're winning.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sure.
So now then you mentioned the Dolphins. They may be moving the Dolphins as well.
Actually, I just got something from Todd that down at the Dolphins that they may be moving the Dolphins as well.
We're looking at the latest here, Greg. It says the Falcons play the Panthers on the 24th at 1 p.m. And they also got the Dolphins at same time at 1 p.m.
No, and both games have been moved. Yeah.
And the Redskins playing also with the Bears.
Yeah, they didn't update that site yet.
Yeah, it says NFL throws huge curveball.
Yeah, they do.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Well, it's the problem is, let's get real. The television ratings are horrible, and there's a reason why. You've got a lot of mediocre football teams there.
Yeah, you do.
And what's even worse is that the referees have gone absolutely bonkers and taken the game away from the players. And until all of that stuff gets worked out, there's going to be problems.
And they're not letting us be entertained anymore. They're not letting the players entertain us. They're not letting them do that little dance.
It's no fun league.
That's part of the whole drill.
Yeah, that's right.
They're not letting the players wear their sneakers the way they wanted to color. I mean, there's a whole bunch of swag that goes into football that they're not allowing because, as you called them, the NFL, the no fun league. Yeah. They got to get off of that.
Well, there are going to be 12 games on Christmas Eve. 12
12?
Games. What it says. Yeah.
Christmas Eve is on what day? That's
Saturday.
That's a Saturday. Okay. Paul, the Saturday games start this week.
In NBA.
All the Saturday games start this week, so we better let everybody know that's in our Pick'em League.
That's right.
Do your picks. Don't forget about Saturday games.
That's right. And our NFL, or I should say our NBA schedule from ESPN kicks off on Christmas Day.
Okay.
It's aside from our Orlando Magic on STU, and of course WPSL has got the Miami Heat.
Okay. Well, Cliff has given me the high sign over there. I don't. So we're going to throw it back to the
He's
studio.
talking to his bookie right
Yeah,
now.
we're live at the Logistics Center, well into giving away the toys for the Christmas kids, and we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
And, of course, today is Toy Distribution Day for the WPSL Christmas Kids. The whole morning show has been at the St. Lucie County Logistics Center. Let's head out there one more time to see the guys and what's going on out there.
You better believe it, man. And before we say goodbye here, we want to throw it over to Paul for some back in the days on this day.
Thank you, G. 63 years ago, 1953. I know Greg knows this guy. 19-year-old Sandy Koufax.
Oh, man.
Signed with the
You
Brooklyn
betcha.
Dodgers after playing about 20 games of baseball in his whole life. 43 years ago, 1974, Styx Lady was released. And 42 years ago, 1974, Irwin Allen's masterpiece, The Towering Inferno, was released, starring Paul Newman, Steve McQueen, and dozens of other stars, including future double murderer O.J. Simpson. Yeah. And 39 years ago, 1977, Saturday Night Fever in New York City kicked off, was instrumental in spreading the disco craze throughout the country. And let's see here, 36 years ago in 1980, Yoko Ono called for a 10-minute silent vigil around the world at 2 p.m. Eastern Time for John Lennon, who was murdered in New York City just 6 days before. And 25 years ago, Michael Jackson's Dangerous was #1 with Black or White, distributed #1 in Billboard's pop album charts. Let me kick it over now to G and Greg for a final few words.
Greg, what are those words that Carol says all the time? Keep the Christmas.
Keep the Christmas kids in your heart.
But there's
That's
something else she says to that. It's two. Keep the something, and then keep the Christmas kids. Oh, I always mess it up every year. Well, anyway, keep the Christmas kids in your heart, Greg. Boy, Greg, it's been a great year.
This is what it's all about. Final toy distribution here, and then we take a day off tomorrow, and then we go into our golf tournament mode where we have our Christmas Kids golf tournament at Gator Trace in May.
So you're going to get one day off.
Yeah,
Well,
we
hey,
get a day off.
We'll take it, right?
Are we off tomorrow, G? We're off tomorrow, huh?
No, we're not
Oh,
off
okay.
tomorrow, Paul. No, we'll be there tomorrow for sure. But we want to thank everybody that had anything to do with the Christmas Kids being the success that it is. We want to thank everybody. And, well, it's time for us to say goodbye. What a quick 3 hours.
It's been quick. It's been fast.
Wow. Well, you have yourself a lovely day, Paul.
You too, G. And we'll see you in
Greg,
AM.
thank you so
Greg,
much.
Thanks for,
You betcha.
yeah, thanks for
We're
coming.
WPSL Port St. Lucie. Your CBS News is next, followed by Cliff and Swap Shop. And we'll talk to you bright and early tomorrow morning. Keep the Christmas kids in your heart.
And keep WPSL on your radio.